You need to do diligence and be skeptical. That's okay.
I'm skeptical.
It's like politics. I don't care. You all have the right to feel or do whatever you do.
But you know your own reality.
You can communicate telepathically. You can enter a person's dream and talk to them.
If you're not lazy.
Yeah, if you weren't bad at hockey.
You can, you know, there is no, it's limitless. There's no time.
Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
And we're on? We're on. Hey, I didn't see you there.
We're on, Ron.
It's UABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach up on our social media tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
You probably recognize Grant as your local door-to-door hair gel salesman. Now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
For this is water. Don't misrepresent. Okay, yeah, you may have seen Skip with HGTV's House Hunters. He's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the universe.
And here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by psychic Cynthia Hess to answer some questions, shed some mysticism. Shed some light on some mysticism. Basically, she's going to make it rain in here. Cynthia Hess, so she's got a cool story about relocating from the East Coast to New Mexico. We'll talk about her story.
Interesting segment. We haven't had that yet.
Yeah, no, this is a first, and this is going to be our highest rated episode, the Emmy Award-winning UABQ podcast.
If Mark would help us over here, we could have an Emmy.
We're short-staffed in the back room, so everybody bear with us today.
Sometimes we do have full staff until Mark starts to do too much drugs, and then he overdoses, and we have no help.
We'll pick Mark up off the floor. And then stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. Grant, welcome back to the show, man. A little hiatus for you.
Dude, this guy always makes fun of me, and he's like, oh, only nerds have allergies. Okay, fine. I can't help it. I was born this way. I had no voice. I called Skip, and he goes, well, I need you, dog. And I go, what do you want me to do on a show that I can't talk?
That's what I need, is finally some time where I can get some words in.
You did.
But anyways, we were talking about earlier a little bit about your bathroom renovation. Still hasn't made a stitch of progress. Yeah. Have you seen any pictures of this thing?
Actually, I would love to put a shout out and put a phone number of my two friends that aren't doing a goddamn thing right now. They have not made 1 inch of progress, and again, the labor's free, so they have no, plot,
no accountability.
Yeah, it's diplomatic immunity, what I call it. It's
labor
for free.
laws.
What do you want from me? I want you to finish, so I don't hate my house.
St. Patty's Day last week, overdosed on Irish food. Which, by the way, Irish food sucks. Can we talk about that?
It's a holiday that I don't really participate on, and everyone's like, everyone's 74% Irish, right? If you ever ask people, they go, I'm a mutt, I'm da 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 da, and I'm, okay, fine, you're Irish, cool.
Go boil some potatoes and have some cabbage.
Everything is just cabbage, and my ancestors are like, you don't even know what your ancestors are. You looked at Ancestry.com, but no, we don't care about that. I don't want the Irish community mad at me, but you can't just keep saying that you're Irish because you're probably Scottish or you're probably something in that conglomerate, but quit saying, oh, I'm a mutt. I hate that answer. You ask people about music, I like everything. That was the worst answer you give me. I know nothing now. I like everything.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day. So that's how it went down.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, it was fun because we had some friends over. But yeah, we did.
You had friends over for this holiday that you don't like?
Corned beef and cabbage. Had a couple Guinness, a couple black and tans. I guess that's the Irish thing to do. And then it's like every holiday now that I'm older, I'm like, what? This is such a dumb holiday.
Oh yeah, you start to realize that real fast. You go, I'm not going to do this with you. You go over there. I'll be here at my house.
I'm having Mexican food.
What did you? So what did you do for the day? You seriously did that food?
And for dinner, yeah.
Was your wife even having that?
Yeah, she cooks it.
Isn't she over this? Like, she's over that faster than you are. What?
What? Having dinner?
No, yeah. She stopped eating dinner 10 years ago. She participated in the food.
Yeah, she cooked 2 corned beefs, all the cabbage you can handle. And then what I did is
No one wants the cabbage.
It was terrible. I chopped everything up and made the tacos out of it. So that was my protest.
I'm glad I would come over. That sounds terrible.
Well, it was terrible. But either way, can't wait for next year. One cool thing in the news, though, as we pivot a little bit towards real estate, one big thing that's happening is the biggest mortgage company in the country is buying one of the biggest residential real estate companies, setting the tone to have some some competition for Zillow, as Rocket Company is set to acquire Redfin for $1.75 billion.
This is troubling.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it's troubling because you don't. I mean, this is slowly how you have monopolies, right? And I don't care if they're watching. I don't like Rocket, and I use them sometimes, so I'm a sellout too, right? But sometimes they have these great rates, and this is what happens when you eat the competition. And I guess you have to do your own underwriting. Rock, if you're seeing this, I'm not happy with what I'm doing.
The size of it, when you look at Redfin, has something like 50 million monthly visitors to their website.
How do they have? Redfin sucks too.
Well, Redfin has traditionally always had the worst reviews when it comes to their brokerage side of business. Now, their website is phenomenal. They have the most info. It's the easiest to use.
Is it out of home?
Absolutely. They and Zillow. I think this is going to be a big leg up for them when it comes to.
They have Zillow?
No. Zillow's number 1, but Redfin was always number 2. But now that they have the backing of Rocket, they're going to have more opportunity
They'll take it over.
Yeah, so they're going to be a big competition.
And I don't even like Zillow, but how easy is it to access? What MLS had for everyone, they went, okay, well then you...
Well, it's not just the MLS. Then they have the school ratings. They have the maps. They have the neighborhood insight. And I think that's where they take over. Now, Redfin, traditionally, on their brokerage side, has just been the worst customer service for... the worst to work with.
What? Let's talk about why.
Well, because it's a discount brokerage model.
So what do they get?
They get bottom floor basement prices.
They
but
pay
also,
out what per agent though?
Nothing. It's just a flat fee. I think you get a monthly. The agents are on salary.
So let me go something with. This is the reason why it reminds me of my brother, who I had a 4Runner, and he took it to my dad's shop, and then he put on a bumper, and then it fell off about 12 blocks away, and I ran over my own bumper, and he said, "That's what you get for $15." So that's Redfin.
Yeah, that's what you get.
You didn't sell your house, or I didn't help you. Well, maybe you should pay me more. Yeah. This is Miles Harvey, Redfin, and.
But so that's why we go back to the old brokerage model and commissions, which have been in the headline. And the rumor is commissions are going away, but no, commissions are always negotiable, and you get what you pay for, right? So if you're going to pay a 1% fee or whatever it is, that discount brokerage model, you're going to get that service that sucks. And it's, it not only sucks for you as the homeowner, or the buyer, but also the cooperating agent that's working with you. It's like, it's a nightmare to get any response. Same as working with Rocket Mortgage. When you call them, it's like nobody answers the phone. They don't have any answers for you. It's just like, I don't know, look it up online.
I truly believe that mortgages have to be hard so I keep a job. Because if they were easy, then I would be exited. It would be AI. But mortgages are hard.
They're very nuanced.
I have to be a defense lawyer for my clients. I mean, that's really how Fannie Mae is set up. So when I have to defend them and be like the defense attorney, this is how I have a job. So I don't want letting it be easy. But gosh, man, it could be really hard because they're like, oh, what happened in 1987? Well, they weren't born. Okay, well, what happened after that? Well, okay, well, maybe they were 1 and they failed at preschool. But you always have to advocate for your borrower because lending is really, really hard. But if it got so automated, then maybe I wouldn't have a job. So.
Well, other changes going on in the real estate market, changes in demographics for homeowners. And this is something that's taken place slowly, but then we all of a sudden saw a jump in the change of homeowners here. So here's what we're looking at. The proportion of homes purchased by single women has increased significantly, rising from 11%.
Beyonce, I'm a single woman. We play that.
Rising from 11% in 1973 to now 20% in 2024.
Damn, can we have some houses, ladies?
Yeah, save some for the boys. This trend highlights a greater financial independence, as you were just singing about, and the outreach among women in the real estate market. So yeah, so the ladies are now finding that they can afford their own properties and they don't need a man. But now it's reduced, so single men ownership is down to about 8% of the entire market.
Well, then I mean, dude, I'll celebrate that because I'm winning when you want to get a house, and I've been kind of an advocate of like get a home, and then we'll figure it out later. You know, and you tell me the same thing. You give me my own advice back to me. Like, why not go get a home? It builds your wealth right away. Like, go get the home, and then worry about it later. You know,
worry about how you're going to pay for it later.
The men are too busy playing, Grand Theft Auto. That's your problem.
Mm-hmm. No, that's definitely it. What else has got you up in arms as we transition into?
I mean,
Grant's rant.
Yeah, that's not a real cigarette, by the way. It's a fake cigarette. Maybe it'll be a real one soon. All right, I'll tell you how I got to work today. Okay, I was behind a truck that was basically losing 18 tons of tools on the way here, and we have our I-25. It's still not done yet. Do you know what the projected date is on that?
October?
No, that's not real. And so I have a guy in the left lane. So when I'm in the left lane, let me tell you about this. I don't like you flipping me off because I want you out of there. Don't get at me. This is how the left lane works. So then I take a right turn, and there's an ambulance that almost kills me. So then I'm like, who are you saving at this point? I don't know. My Grant's rant really isn't about much, but it's really like I think a teenage girl's going to kill me from texting, and ambulance workers probably aren't trying to save their patients. Not a real cigarette.
Coming up, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined in studio by psychic Cynthia Hess, who has a great story about moving from the East Coast to New Mexico and changing lives by seeing things that most people can't see. Stay tuned. And then obviously it's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is all about you, ABQ. Welcome back to UABQ. I am Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
We're joined in studio by psychic Cynthia Hess.
Welcome
to the show, by the way.
Thank you for having me,
She already knew you were going to do that.
Oh, wait a minute. She already knows what I'm going to ask her. No, we're going to be a little bit corny with you, but also I think we have a lot to learn from you.
I won't.
Oh, yeah, you're all business all of a sudden. Guy shows up for one episode.
The demographics.
Yeah, so listen, so the goal of this show is we always want to talk about Albuquerque, people that live in Albuquerque, business owners, and the main question that we always have is like, how on earth, because you have an accent, let's be honest, you have an East Coast accent.
Can't get rid of it.
How on earth did you end up in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Okay, in brief, I had a man I studied with that was inspirational for me learning how to do readings over the air on radio back in New York, and he came out here for unique medical treatment.
His name is Ron Bell.
And I came out here to visit, and being an intuitive, I had a vision, and something came to me and said to come here. This was. I had already seen, like we talked about, the commercial and the movie. I didn't see the movie, but I was there during that time that they were doing commercials for Rio Rancho, and I saw it. I actually sent away for the brochure, and they had 3 models for $25,000. And so I had already seen that, but it was kind of nebulous because I'm sitting in New York, and it's like, okay. And I got the brochure. And I was just, being a single mother, there's kind of no way out of the hood, so to speak.
Well, living in New York, it can be a challenge to buy your own place because, I mean, look, they have apartments everywhere, and to find your own
railroad
house for
apartments
kids,
is the word.
That's an enticing thing about the East Coast pilgrimage to here, right? So
Absolutely. Finally, you can get your own home. Otherwise, nobody wants to really live. Queens is okay. But Long Island was expensive with the taxes, or you have to go to New Jersey, and then a lot of people went to Florida. But so I had seen the commercial, but in my being, I had wanted to get out because as a single mother, you want to give your son
there was
or
a commercial
child.
About Rio Rancho?
Yeah, there's a whole movie about it.
Whole movie.
Glenn Ross.
And as a single mother, you want to get out, and it's like, I want to give my son a better life than this. And that commercial came on, and it was like, click. I'm going to get the brochure, and I'm out of here. And when I saw the brochure, $25,000, it's like,
To buy a new house,
to
right?
buy a new house.
Yeah. Well, so you're not alone in the fact that a lot of people are discovering New Mexico as kind of the last affordable state, and Albuquerque the last affordable city in the Southwest. And so I think it's great that you picked up stakes and moved out here. And I think that, the culture, the Native American influence here speaks to a lot of maybe clairvoyants or people who are looking for, big skies and a different way of thinking.
Well, also, like going back, the man I studied with and did shows in New York, I had to commute into Manhattan, so we did a lot cable and radio shows in New York. He came out here for a special medical treatment that they had at the time because there was an influx of alternative health medicine.
What was it?
What is it, ayahuasca? What are we talking about?
No, it was chelation therapy.
Like
So
Kegels?
chelation therapy, there's a book called Bypassing Bypass, and they treated people with lead poisoning with chelation therapy, and they found it opened up the veins and arteries to the heart, and it was an alternative to bypass. So he was coming out here for these treatments, and I came out here to visit, and also the brochure and everything else, and it was like, this is it. I just had the calling, the vision, the whole 9 yards. But I went out to Rio Rancho, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's no schools. There's
No anything. The next day, here's a house, and there's a house over there, and then
There was
here's
no-
a downtown. If you have to drive 55 miles,
I called a real estate agent, and she says, well, the better schools are over here, over
The old
there.
bait
And
and
it's
switch.
The better
like,
skills are not here.
well, I don't think there was any, there was maybe one school
Right.
or something. There was nothing there. And, as fate would have it, she said, well, this is a good school, El Dorado and La Cueva and everything. And
Dorado, I
she
don't know.
found me a townhome that was just about the same range of the house. So she said it's an assumable mortgage and just put $3,000 down and you
Oh
got
my
it.
God,
Yeah.
this is just so like,
This
wow.
is
yeah.
this is a real story. And it had a pool, and it was close to El Dorado, and then there
Can
were
we
all
have
these
one?
stores, and
So what is this, on Spain and Eubank?
it was no, it was Sandia Plaza, Sandia condos at the time.
What
they
year
were
was that? What year?
1990.
Holy smoke, good pull. And,
25,000, and so $3,000.
Can't say
There
no to
I
that.
go, an assumable mortgage. And so there I was, and we packed up. we headed out, and it everything was pretty magical at the time. My son loved the school, the pool. It was it was great. He got a job at Yesterdays.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Gardino,
Yeah.
and he was there through college, and I got him into college. Like, things happened that I couldn't make happen.
Yeah, and
in
that's
New York.
that's a
And
very
then,
common story.
I
not
sent out.
yesterday's though, because Kip couldn't keep me get a job.
I worked at Gardino's. Don't trip.
No, it was Yesterday's.
Yeah,
it
well,
was
what-
different with the cars.
I
the
get it.
50s cars.
Gardino's was the same thing, though. It was right
Not the
next
same
door.
thing. They don't
It
sell
is the
burgers
same
at
thing.
Gardino's.
So
Anyway, thank you.
then I sent out press releases, and I got a call from Scott Kerr, who was a program director at the time at Mix 107.9.
The Edge?
And no, and not the Edge, not
Yes,
yet.
it
Oh,
was.
for 92.
Isn't it the
Not
Edge?
yet. No, he
107.9
was-
The Edge.
I think 104.7.
All right.
And then what happened is he said, "I have an idea. We're gonna do a show around you called Psychic Love Lines," and then that was it. I mean, that went
Lucky.
on for 6 years, commercials, and overnight I knew everyone. Overnight, I had the condo, I had the show, then the show led to morning shows
She
on
knew my
television.
social like way before I did.
Albuquerque Journal. I got invited to do a column called The Star Guide. So I was in that era of everybody infiltrating here, and all the Italian community that have opened all these amazing restaurants that are
Wait,
from
what did open up? We call them Italians because they like to be called that. Actually, they hate it.
what Like
what
did-
restaurants they open? Like what was it?
Saggio's, Giovanni's, what was the other one? There's another one there.
Matucci's.
But
think
yeah,
Papa John's.
they're all from,
It's a small community, right?
they're all from Brooklyn.
Well, what I like about you is you came to town and then you took over the media game. As a couple of knuckleheads breaking into the media game, I mean, we are an Emmy Award-winning show, season
we've
6.
had 7.
Not a big deal. But we know, that one thing leads to another and you go on different shows. And
Absolutely, and that's what
Are you
happened.
foreshadowing?
Because I got in I just came in and there were so many people infiltrating here from all over. And of course, the spiritual vortex, very similar to, not as woo-woo as Sedona, but this was known as a big spiritual vortex. And
Here?
Oh,
in
yes,
Mexico,
here.
yeah, for sure.
And so I came here and I said, okay, what am I going to do different than all these people? There's a lot of psychics and Reiki and, all kinds of stuff here. And I said, I'll just go on radio.
Yeah.
And so that was it. So they opened up the lines and I had that show and 2 hours a
What a pilgrimage
night.
story this is. This is something else.
Yeah.
Well,
2
look,
hours a night, I'm doing reading after reading after reading on the air. And, it was wild because these guys, I had the ability, they were radio, and they said, do this, 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 and they had a stopwatch, and no dead air, you got this many minutes, and it's like, okay, I'm there. But it was a great, amazing time. And, in Albuquerque, it was a blast.
Well, it's something new and something different. And I think that you brought a different perspective in, your background coming to Albuquerque.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
We had talked about, most of your clients now, you work out of the house and you can do virtual or, in-person
Yeah.
readings, whatever the client needs. But I want to talk more about psychic abilities because what in the hell? I mean, so many times you meet girls in school who are like, I can see your aura, and you're just looking at them like you're full
I'm
of
like,
shit.
no, I just haven't showered for a minute.
Yeah, you're full of shit. So give us, how in the hell, how do you know that you're a psychic? What does that entail?
How did I know?
Yeah.
The ability to hear thoughts like they're words. But then, what it is you take a feeling and you magnify it to a voice, a movie, a vision, and it happens all at once. And how I knew is that, my story is different maybe, but it's like it's a knowingness. Like I'm seeing things in people that they don't see in each other. I'm seeing how people feel about each other, and then when you're young, you're very open. And then I would see spirits coming in, or a spirit come in and say so and so is going to pass away, and so everything was random. It was visions, and it was just a knowingness that I'm sensing something that I don't see other people doing. And so it was a journey of trying to find out, what is this? And it was books, because we're not taught in school how to use this other sensing device, and it's very similar to instinct in animals. So animals can smell or feel or whatever. So we all have this physicality in the brain, which is like the pineal gland, and it is a we have this physical sensing device that man first used to sense danger, find his mate, in the beginning of time, and then lost sight of it. You see the Native Americans go into the ground and they can hear and sense, and, they were in touch with this tuning fork that we all have.
I heard that there's an ionic charge that animals have about certain ways that we feel about them or not, and so they receive that through going, I don't like this guy, or this guy, this guy likes it.
They know. It's a knowingness. And you have that, but I've had a certain type of training. And it's like, it's helping. I tried to do this in a practical application of intuition in your everyday life. And if you have this, it's kind of like, it's like Jedi training. It's a knowingness, but there's an evolution to it. So you start out very basic, but then it's like the training I've had is like, okay, past, present, and future. You are your past memory. You're sitting here now, and your future is the thoughts about what you're going to do. So it was a lot of focus. It was a lot of being able to capture one thought. So to get on the radio, it's Wi-Fi. It's like I'm right there with that person. Nobody else exists. That call comes in, I'm with them on the air, and I'm like there, and I become them. In becoming them, I'm seeing what's going on in their life, and I have them ask a question, and then I start describing it. But it's also, it's like Jedi training. You take it, and there's different levels. There's different levels of intuition, mysticism. And so as I started learning, it was like, when I was young, it was like I was reading books and, okay, what do you do with this? Because, what's the point? And there was a book called There Is a River by Edgar Cayce, and it's like, okay, he had this and he helped people. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help people. And boy, was that a journey.
Do you think I have a gift? I knew he was a rascal when I met him when he was 23. Do I have
You have something, man.
Well, you
have an ability, and you use it to attract and repel people.
Well, apparently I learned the news, and then I still go, whoa, come over here.
Let me ask you this. How do you address skepticism in your industry?
I don't care about it. Why bother?
Okay.
That's okay, but you need to be skeptical. You need to do diligence and be skeptical. That's okay.
I'm skeptical.
It's like politics. I don't care. You all have the right to feel or do whatever you do.
But you know your own reality, and it doesn't matter what other people say.
Because I have results. Because I have data. I have radio shows. I have listeners. I have people. I have years of doing this.
Good results, yeah.
And then it evolves. But we were talking about different phenomena. So I had to grow into this. I didn't understand the gravity of this ability. I had to grow into it. So when I went on the radio and they'd say, can you go find this person? Can you go do this? And what about this? So I was, as I started stretching it into different areas, then I started understanding how, that there are rules and how it works.
What would be a sample question? Like what would be something that someone would propose, or an inquiry?
Yeah, can you talk to the dead?
I can talk to the dead, but my focus is not on that, because I think, we're living in a world where the living need help.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, some things are random, some things happen spontaneously. Like I had a girl come in and she sat down, and then I saw a man come in with a white shirt, tan pants, and metal glasses. And I said, this man just came in, and I described him, oh yeah, that's my uncle, he just died. So sometimes people will still be attached, or because it's fresh, it just happened. Or, we were talking about stories of unusual things and phenomena.
Yeah.
I mean, people ask anything, but there's a story, and since you both are sports guys, you would appreciate this. I had somebody from those fundraisers that do fundraising for sports and schools, and I can't say the name of the high school here, but there was phenomena happening.
You better not say La Cueva.
In a local high school, and what was happening is the kids on the track felt hands grabbing them, they'd fall down, and
multiple people said they had this collective wow.
Yeah, it was a collective experience in a high school, and they had then they saw lights going on when the scoreboard wasn't plugged in. it would go on and off. And then they saw people in the stands, that weren't normal people. So there was a lot of phenomena taking place, and then there was parts of the track where the birds wouldn't go, or they saw a phenomena, or a man walking. But anyway, this fundraiser that works with the coach called me, and and they were calling the ambulance. The kids were not dehydrated. They just felt that something was grabbing them, and they were falling down based on the hands, and all kinds of things. Hell was breaking loose there. So this man called me, and I said, oh yeah, no problem. We'll be down there, give me a date. And my friend, who was a medicine man on the Navajo reservation up in Toye.
Where's that?
Near Ganado.
More not knowing things. Okay, sorry.
But
you can teach me about New Mexico.
I said, no problem. And so we went out there, and I knew right away there was a burial ground. And sometimes these things happen, and it's not like anything like Hollywood. It's Native Americans will bury somebody in full blankets and jewelry and everything else, and they do a prayer of protection from animals, people, and nobody stealing anything or whatever. But they do a sacred prayer. And unsolicited, if they put that sign so many feet down and it punctures that space, unsolicited, it will send out an energy to protect it. So this is what happened with the scoreboard. And the scoreboard was changing numbers on its own and all kinds of stuff. So I went out with Kevin, and we went out there, and you could actually feel a certain parameter on the field where it was like a negative ion generator. It was just, a weird feeling.
Do you think that there's some ice rinks that were built that made me, there's some games I had a really bad outing, and I was skating way slower, and maybe it felt like I was being, there's some places where I go, I suck every time at that rink. Do you think that
it could have been? Well, it could have been anything. It could have been.
It's not because I was bad. It's something I wanted.
It could have been something that was there. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We had talked about humans having almost a sixth sense, and you have the ability to tap into it, where most people, they've forgotten about it, they don't really realize it. Talk to me, what are your thoughts on telepathy, like communicating telepathically?
You can communicate telepathically. You can enter a person's dream and talk to them.
If you're not lazy.
Yeah, if you weren't bad at hockey.
You can, there is no, it's limitless. There's no time and space.
So is there...
Can you teach us in one minute?
Yeah, what we're trying to get at is...
I want to learn
Can I get into Grant's head and help him be on time?
Shut up. You know what? Okay, now keep going. I want to push another lamp on his head when he used to be...
You know what it is with him? He's like...
Yeah, what is it with him?
It's like ADD. Something happens and he gets over here. And he loses.
Wait, me or him?
You. And he loses. He loses perspective.
I don't even know where I am.
Or he thinks that he has, or something happens and he gets over there, or over there.
He can't help me.
You must have seen all of our episodes.
No, you're very. You're like.
Don't anoint him.
No, you're perfect because you're like
okay.
It's like Abbott and Costello. You're like Abbott. You're like very pristine, everything perfect, time, image, this,
notes.
that. Yes, you're like.
Oh, you should see this guy's third segment where he just messes up a lot. Yeah, he's perfect, all right.
No, you're like Abbott and Costello, so it's perfect.
Yeah, well, that's why.
But it's almost like, is it like ADD where something happens, the glass falls, and it's like he forget. Oh,
I've never
it's
dropped
2
one
days,
thing in my life.
It's almost like he's. But also his health is off. So
I have allergies. I'm fine. I'm healthier than this guy.
Yeah.
Listen,
you want to run a mile right now? I will smoke it.
He gets real sensitive. Let's move on So talk to me about telepathy, though, because I think that's caught some traction recently.
That's how this all started.
I mean, you have to. In other words, if you played the piano every day for 10 hours every day, 5 days a week, you'd be the best at what you did. And if you need, you know, it's psychic nutrition. It's doing this every day.
Muscle memory, right?
It's kind of like, you know, watching a horse race and trying to figure out who's going to win.
Skip will never beat a horse.
You know, so that's how you see the future. But everything is there. It's like Wi-Fi. So it's just tapping into your frequency and vibration because everybody's in a different time and space.
The
It's a
Wi-Fi
physics
passwords
equation.
are so hard to memorize, though.
But
No
it's
one
like,
knows their
you know,
Wi-Fi
it's a
password.
different time and space. You know, you're in a specific time and space. And, you know, even astrologically, like, things happen. And so, you know, everything is like a doorway. But, you know, to do this, you have to focus on what you want to know. And you have to take, you know, you have to take time every day to do it. But it requires a lot of silence, a lot of, you know,
I'm out.
You know, visualization, sitting down for 5 or 10 minutes a day and saying, I want to know this or that. And also, it just goes into different levels of manifestation. So, you know, the ability to manifest, the ability, you know, seeing what you want. It's like what Grant said, just get the house. And,
Wow, I got some
you
credit.
know,
Thank
no,
God.
really, it's people don't know. And, you know, there's always a way. And the thing is that people don't know. I mean, for somebody like me to own a home was just like, oh my God.
Let me ask you this. This is an important question. What the fuck is Mercury retrograde, and why does it make all the females in my house go crazy?
That's not cussing. When are you ever allowed to cuss besides when I do it?
Mercury retrograde. So planets have cycles. Everything is a cycle, like a season. So planets move and doorways open and close where it's easier to get something or harder. But Mercury retrograde, so there's an alignment right now. So you have Mercury retrograde, you have Venus retrograde, you have a couple of other outer planets retrograde. And what it does, it's not always a negative. What it does is it just creates like a fog where things break, communication, lateness, whatever. But
feel like we're talking about
based
movie.
on the sign it's in, it also brings back opportunities. So everybody's going through a reset right now. The country's going through a reset. People are going through a reset. And what it's doing is, in the sign it's in, because it's in Aries, it's making people get a true sense of their self-worth, self-esteem, and their identity, because a lot of people are changing jobs, shifting locations, and everything else. And people are going back and redefining what they want in their lives and getting their power to make things happen. And, you know, I went through that resurgence in the 90s, and we're having another resurgence here at this time about real estate, property, companies coming in. I've seen a real shift again after, you know, a lull. But, you know, and then when I came in, all the casinos hadn't been built. They were starting to be built and everything, and it created a whole different
Let me ask
energy.
you a question. Skip's been fired 19 times in his life, so what's up with why? What is it?
Because he wanted to do his own thing
Thank
and
you.
felt he
But
knew
what
better.
retrograde was happening? Like his Jeep
He
Cherokee
knew
battery
better.
went out?
He felt he knew better.
So I will, well, as we wrap up, let me say this. I have spoken with a psychic previously, and that's why I was asking you about the psychic community, if
knows.
anybody's in communication about it. But is there a consensus about Donald Trump in the second term in office? And this is not a political question.
What the hell?
It's more so because she was very adamant about the consensus about Donald Trump was, number one, he is going to win again. But number two, something drastic is going to happen his first year of office, and wherein
It already happened.
he might not.
It already happened.
Wherein he might not be around through the first year. And I don't know if that's something that's
Well,
consensusly
that's all
said.
right. I don't need to be psychic to tell you who's going to get,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't really talk to other people. They have a different thing.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a different thing. When I came here, I tried to, you know, and then, everybody has a different thing and they stay. But as far as he's concerned, no, I see him making it through. As far as another term, based on age, you know,
Based on
that's
Constitution.
based on age. I don't, you know, I think that by the end he'll groom somebody to
Okay.
continue what he started.
Good. No, again, and
No,
it's,
it's not.
we're hardly a political show.
No, I'm
But-
not political either,
yeah.
but I don't see him. You know, he already
What
is.
is this
He's
sheriff
already
tariff
been
over
shot
here?
at, and you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Wild
I don't
times.
see, you know, that's kind of, he's in a better cycle right now.
He's retrograding. Well, listen, Cynthia, we're going to have links to your website and all of your
Okay.
social media as well. Our goal is to promote you, and thank you for dropping knowledge.
Thank
on
you
us.
so
This
much.
is something else.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of
You're
course,
fun.
of course. You have a good story. Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips.
You
This
see
is
how not perfect he is. Watch this segment.
UABQ.
We're back, and we're about to see perfection on segment 3. Thank you for the psychic coming in and basically blowing my tires out. But Skip has been anointed as perfect, and I'd like to see him take it away. Go ahead, Skip.
Oh, yeah.
Skip's tips. Oh, yeah.
Skip's Tips, anything that saves us time, makes us more money, or allows us to have more
Did I
fun
do
in
the
real
thing?
estate or in real life. Yes, he did the thing. One common mistake that I see Albuquerque homeowners make that actually causes their home to sit on the market a little bit longer. Now, as a realtor, I've seen this trend in about 40% of the homes that we show. And here it is. Painting your accent walls red. Painting one room in your house red. I don't know why. I guess it's because we're in the Southwest and it's trendy to have red walls in your house. This trend can really turn off home buyers when it comes to purchasing properties. But here's a fun fact. Did you know that 40% of the homes that are on the market right now have had one or more price reduction? Coincidence? I think not. So keep that in mind to paint your walls a neutral color to attract as many buyers as possible. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah.
Did that track? 40%. Stay tuned. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Great episode, Emmy Award winning, every Wednesday night, Sunday morning on the Education Channel worldwide, yada, yada, yada. This is all about you.
Wait, no, I'm not done yet. Sometimes Skips gets customers because they go, well, my house won't sell. And he'll go, was your rooms painted red? That's what I thought. So they think he's a psychic. Okay.
This is all about you, ABQ.
You're watching you, ABQ.